welcome back for the first time in said how long has it been now?
It's been a while. It's
It's
been
been
at least a month, no? You would
a
say
month. I'd say like 5. I think
5
at
months.
least at least 5 months. That
No, we did a episode 1.
we
What
did
are we talking
episode
about?
1, and I think that was like 5 months ago. It's been a
No.
while. We did
Fair,
another like mini thing on this side like a
yeah,
month.
maybe
Yeah,
I might be getting confused, but I don't know. 5
yeah,
months that doesn't sound right. Well,
yeah.
maybe. Damn, it's been that long.
5 months, and the prodigal sons have returned to
The Figgy de
another
Vesuvio have
episode.
returned.
The prodigal sons have returned to another episode of the Fili del Vesuvio podcast, season 2, episode 2, I believe it is now. And we're gonna keep it quick. We're just gonna let it,
Let it flow.
play it out. Just let it
Mhm.
be a little quick one, and we're gonna talk mainly about what we've seen within the last couple of weeks with this team, and which, quite honestly, said, I'm impressed.
Oh, big time.
I'm impressed.
It's in the title, bend but don't break.
Yep.
I want to kind of start seeing them, dominate some games and not have to go behind. But the fact that they've been so resilient and just uh, coming back in every single game this season,
Yeah.
it's a promising trend. If we know Napoli teams in the past have, a lot of those games or a few of those games we probably would have dropped points. But
Yeah.
yeah, this team feels like they got a little bit of a swagger about them, and they don't really get rattled. So hopefully we can start seeing them dominate games. But I'm feeling really good about the start to the season. Raff and Rat.
Thank you, boys.
Raff
Thank
and
you. We're
Raff
glad
Rat.
to be back, and thanks for joining in on this right now. And yeah, I got to agree with Sereno. Bend but don't break. That's the name of this episode, and that's basically the main theme that we're going to be talking about in this little mini podcast here. And I'm going to be honest with you. I get what you mean. Like, I would like our team to be more attacking in a sense, like taking the game and really using our attacking threats
Yeah,
right from the get-go. But at the
absolutely.
same time, I don't mind it because of the fact that I know eventually this team is going to score. Like, that's just in the back of my mind. I just know it's going to happen. It's
And
not like, is this team going to score like we saw last year, where
mhm.
there were some games where we just passed the ball for 90 minutes and we'd score one goal, maybe.
And it's good that they know that they can win like this now. So
Exactly.
we know how to win when we dominate and when we blow teams out of the water. But
Yeah.
it's those tooth and nail, like fighting, grinding games that have always come to bite us in the back.
Exactly.
In
But
seasons past. So
the thing is, like, this is something that's also new for us because, as you just said, right, we are not used to seeing this team be so resilient, where if
Okay.
push comes to shove, they're able to make their way and get their way out of that situation where they can score those 2-3 goals that they need.
It reminds me of like almost like the Mazzari's Napoli was a lot like that. So I was
Yes.
getting a lot
Yeah.
of back in those days vibes, with
Yeah.
Cavani, Lavezzi, Amazic, like
I
they
get what you
they
mean.
were that was a team that could you could never count them out. So yeah, it's a good comparison to have, right?
And just going off that again, like you said, like I said before, I don't care as much now as the fact that we are, we're not taking the game. We're still like settling in too. You have to remember that, like, Spalletti being a new coach, and he's still trying to implement his system with this team. So they're still trying to be, like, in a way, trying to work their way in, trying to be a little bit,
Learn the
comfortable with their new
system,
style of
learn
play.
the voice.
But at the same time, the thing that Spalletti that brought to this team, that honestly, I'm gonna admit to it right now, I didn't see it at all. I had no foresight on this. Was the change in mentality where these guys are resilient to anything you throw at them. Anything. It doesn't matter
Sure.
what you put at them, they're resilient. 2-0 to Leicester. I'm thinking in the back of my mind, these guys, they're not, they're
Done. They're
done.
they're
Their
they're,
game's
they're
over.
folding.
Their
Yeah.
game's over. And
The
within a
old Napoli would have folded there, man.
Old
2-0
Napoli would
away
have
in
folded
England.
1-0. They would
Yeah.
have folded at 1-0. But then,
Yeah.
they scored that first goal in a matter of half an hour. By the way, Osimhen is a monster. Love that guy. Without him, I don't think the game would have been the same either. But within a matter of half
Sure.
an hour, This team did not stop. They just kept moving forward. Nobody had had their head down, which you saw from a lot of players last season,
For sure.
namely your captain Insigne. A lot of the times did have
Mhm.
like that mopey attitude, like
He's a,
kicking
he's,
around
he's
the
a Euro champion now, so I hope his attitude
exactly.
has changed,
That
right?
may
So
that may have been another factor that contributed to their new mentality. But
definitely.
being able to see this team, first of all against Venezia, down to 10 men with a red card, missed a penalty, and they still put in 2 goals and win the game. Then they go up against who was it? Genoa, 1-1 tie. And then Patania, out of all the people, Patania steps on the field, 85th minute, scores a game winning header. Then you
Exactly.
go up against Juve, you give up a terrible goal in the first like 15 minutes of the game, and you still win 2-1.
Still win.
With
Yeah.
a Juve that was playing Catenaccio because they just wanted to defend points.
Raf is saying we started the first 30 minutes of the season with adversity and still pulled it out. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly,
So
exactly. And that's
it's
why
been the theme so far early on the season, and they've passed the test, but we're gonna hopefully start seeing some more positive starts and some more dominating games from Napoli. Fingers crossed.
exactly.
But yeah, but even just the way Spalletti has the whole squad just kind of involved, like people coming off the bench are making impacts, and it feels like
Yeah,
everybody feels involved, like with the collective.
exactly.
Um, and his in-game switches and substitutions have been something that we haven't seen. All due respect to Gattuso, but his in-game management is nowhere near what Spalletti's has been these past few games. And
Not at all.
basically every substitution he's made has made an impact on the game and ultimately on the final result. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, so far, early report card is all A's in my opinion for Spalletti.
Exactly, exactly. And we just, the next banner that was going to come up, Unbreakable and Unbeatable. That's basically what we are right now. And honestly, I don't see it changing within the near future. I don't see this changing within the near future. I honestly don't even see it changing at all throughout the season. If they could already start off the season with this mentality that they can bend but they can never break, it's going to be very hard to beat us. Any
Yeah,
team. I don't care any
absolutely.
team. On top of the fact that our team is probably the best in the league on paper. I think.
You
I
think?
one of the best in the
I
league.
don't know,
I
man.
said one of the best. I didn't say the best. I said one of the
Oh, I
best.
thought you said the best.
No, no,
Okay, yeah,
no. I
one of
said
the
one of
best.
the
I'll,
best.
I'll give you.
One of the best.
We have good depth, like, and imagine like we still haven't added Demme and Mertens to this
Yeah,
squad right now,
Lobotka is
so
out too right now.
it's
Who
gonna
is
make and
a good
Lobotka too. So
yeah,
we're gonna have a nice problem. So yeah, we definitely got the squad and the depth. So if Spalletti keeps everybody happy and integrates them well, and we're playing like how we're playing,
yeah,
I can see us giving every team a lot of trouble. So
exactly. I
you
said
gotta, I don't want to say Scudetto yet, but you gotta kind of wait until maybe the second round, and then you can maybe see where you're
yeah.
at, and you can say, okay, maybe we can do the Scudetto, but
I honestly
definitely,
to
definitely will be in the hunt, I think.
to go on that, but like I didn't expect Scudetto this year, to be honest with you. I just thought Spalletti was just I didn't think this team was gonna have such drastic changes in their mentality that they have right now. That's
Honestly, even the last few seasons, even since we had Ancelotti, I always said this team is a fantastic team and a deep
yeah,
team, and
yeah, of
we
course.
got good young. We have a good mix of young and old and veterans, and now in senior one. So like won the Euro, so he's on a high, and he's by far, in my opinion, our best player. Him and Koulibaly. So
Yeah,
um, I always thought this team had the potential to win the Scudetto, but yeah, we needed that killer mentality, that coach, and a left back, in my opinion. But
so
let's see if we can manage without the left back
even without it's
or with Mario Rui.
Raf here is saying it's okay to say Scudetto. It's time that we start putting Napoli in the convo. Napoli they've always been in the see
Always
they've
a
always been in
bridesmaid,
the
never a
convo.
bride.
They've always been in the convo for the last like 8 years, maybe like 5 years. I'll say 5 years, maybe. For the last 5 years, Napoli's always been in the convo of a potential Scudetto winner.
Well, since Juve's been went on that long run, it's all
Yeah,
we've been number two. Like we've been
exactly.
like with
We've
them.
been
Like,
neck and neck with them, and the season that we get 91 points is the unfortunate season that Juventus wins a record for points made in a Scudetto season.
90,
So it's just
91 points gets you the Scudetto any other season.
any other. I checked it in the previous 15 seasons, going back 15 years, they would have won the Scudetto 14 times. Think about that for a
Unbelievable.
second. It's just unlucky, but they've always been in the contention of a Scudetto winner, specifically within the last few years. But now it's a matter of the fact that I don't see any other team being better, and I don't see any other team being as resilient as this team. And that's probably the main point that I want to drive here is that
I can
any
see that.
team can be good. Every team, Milan's good, Inter's good,
But
Juve
there's some
is
good
good.
coaches, Carm. There's some really like Mourinho's
Yeah,
a
of
good
course.
coach.
Mourinho is very good, but
You
the
got to be
thing,
careful still. Like there's some good teams, and then you got some coaches that can get the most out of these teams. So that's why this season is going to be fantastic. Like
exactly,
you can't really pick one out of the group. It's anybody's. It's whoever takes it by the neck and runs with it. So we got to hope that
exactly.
we're that team that's going to take it by the neck and run with it. Because right now it's anybody's Scudetto right now.
But like I said, unbreakable and unbeatable. Like these guys, I'm going back to this point. They bend but don't break. It doesn't. Within the last few games, they should have had 0 points. They should have gone out those games with 0 points against Juve, maybe 1 point
Absolutely.
against Genoa, and no points against Leicester.
Yeah,
If we're talking about the last three games,
I
they
don't
should have
see
gone
us
a point.
winning any three of those games last year.
Never,
To be fair,
never. We would
no,
never have Ancelotti.
absolutely
We
not.
never would have won with Ancelotti. We maybe would have scraped by a couple of points with Sadi at the helm, and God knows we wouldn't have won with Gattuso at the helm.
No,
So
we might have
coming out of
tied,
that,
but I don't think we would have won a game.
we wouldn't have won the game, and that's a point that I'm making here. Unbendable, unbreathable. I can't even speak
Unbreathable.
right now. Unbreakable and unbeatable.
Yes,
These
sir.
guys are just constantly. I'm just going to say it again, resilient, and it's something that's really good to see. And it's had,
Look how
you
happy you
know,
are. Look at the smiles. I've never seen a
exactly,
smile this much
exactly. You
on
never
on a,
seen me
on a
smile like this.
podcast.
Never. You've never seen me smile like this, and that's because Sereno,
Yeah, we're at
the
loss for
vibes
words.
are immaculate.
Yes.
I'm gonna let you take this away.
So the vibe check. So let's get that SSCN vibes right now. Immaculate.
Immaculate.
The feeling around this team is just light and beautiful, and sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows, and we can't be beaten. So the vibe check is they passed the vibe check from Sereno. Yeah, absolutely.
I think I gotta agree with you. Like you said, like I've honestly, if you know Sereno and I, and if you followed us on Twitter and watched us of recently within the last 2 years, you know that me and him are always a glass half empty type of guys, where we're like,
Yeah, I'm a little
I
bit
don't see
pessimistic when it comes to this
a little
team.
bit
Yeah,
pessimistic when it comes to talking about this team specifically. I wouldn't say about life in general, but when it comes to about talking to this team, we've had enough experiences within our
I'm
20
also I'm
years.
also a Toronto Maple Leaf fan, so anybody that watches hockey knows that when it comes to sports teams,
Yeah,
my optimism is not very high.
being
So
being a Leaf fan and a Napoli fan does do a little bit of damage on the mental in the
absolutely,
optimistic sort of sense. But like if you notice, we haven't stopped smiling since we got onto the spot. Apart from the
yeah,
fact that we're finally back and it's good to be back,
for
but
sure.
we are like he says it here. Carmen is cheese, and I am, and it's just like it's so good. It's so refreshing to see such a re-energized team, and in every sense of the fact, the physical, the mental, and any sense of the fact, this team is re-energized, and it's
Even
just something that
e-
I'm not
even
saying.
even sorry to interrupt you. Even
Go ahead.
on a personal note, our club here in Toronto is feeling
Oof,
really
oof.
re-energized, and I'm sure we'll probably talk about that a little bit more later. But I just have
Yeah,
to
we
just
will, we
mix that
will.
in.
We'll
Um,
talk about it a little bit later, but yeah, it's a good point. Well, listen, when Napoli does good, everyone is in cloud nine. All right. When Napoli does bad,
everyone's giving off a good vibe right now. Everybody's
exactly.
happy.
Everyone else is giving off a good vibe, not even from the club, like on Twitter, from the people we interact with. Just in general, it's very nice to see this re-energized, revitalized
And
sort
and
of
al- and
team and
also
passion.
just to mix into the Verdoliva vibe check, how can the vibes not be good around here when we had the Prince in Toronto for 2 weeks. Just have to give
Yes.
Mohammed Salid a little shout out. We've been
Yes.
hosting him here for the last
Yes.
couple of weeks, and honestly, I'm sad that he's leaving because it seems like he was our good luck charm. So hopefully he comes back soon. But yeah, no, the vibes been. Yeah, that's another reason vibes been really good around here.
Yeah, I gotta say that that meet we had with him for the Juve match, that was quite honestly one of the best experiences of my life.
For sure. Yeah.
Starting from the match and then just like from him being here and getting to experience that with us, like that was. Are you? I know it's probably one of his best experiences of his life, but it's probably one of mine as well.
No, I
Just sharing that
definitely me too.
experience,
It
and
was amazing.
the flares after the game and all
That
that.
was the
It's
that
just
was the best match watching experience outside of being at the San Paulo or the
that's
Maradona now
you know what? That's a good
that
point.
I've
Yeah,
ever had.
that's a good point. And it's just like it's nice that we have that place to ourselves, but that's others besides the fact. Let's get back to what we were talking about with this team. So we talked a little bit about the past games. The Juve game, obviously, everyone knows what happened there, and I'm not gonna reiterate what was said on other channels like the Raf and Raf Rant. They've talked about it at nauseum. So I just want to go on into talking about what we think is going to happen next. So we're on to Udine for the next match. We are unbeaten, as we know right now. We haven't dropped a single point yet. So let's talk about Udinese first. Let's talk about that match for a little bit, and then we'll get on to our little prediction streak there.
Okay.
Today, go ahead.
Um honestly, I don't see this streak ending. Like I think bar having like a terrible game, which I don't think this team is gonna have a bad game right now. We're kind of riding on a high. I'm not sure if anybody has the lineups, predicted lineups, but I think I saw Politano starting on the right, which
Hmm.
I like that. He's been really in form lately, so
Yeah.
I think that we should get a result tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be a blowout because Udinese hasn't been playing terrible. So
Yes.
if I had to, say a score, I would say maybe 2-0, 2-1 Napoli. And I think Osimhen scores again tomorrow because, now the floodgates are open. He's, gotten the 2 goals last game against Leicester. And
Yeah.
just like last year when he got that first goal or when he got that monkey off his back, he ran with it. So I think we're going to see Osimhen score at least 1 goal tomorrow. So my prediction is 2-2. Let's say 2-1. I'll give Udinese a goal. 2-1.
Yeah, I think that's a
Yeah.
pretty good prediction. And you're right. Like Udinese, they've always been a somewhat of a
They
tough
give us a
team.
game.
They
They give
always
us,
give us a game.
yeah, yeah.
And like as of recently, I think in the last 4 games they've won 3 and drawn 1 time. I
Yeah,
can't remember who they played against. They
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 played
played,
Juve. They beat Juve. No,
they
or they
no they
tied them.
tied Juve. That's the game they tied.
Yeah,
Tied Juve for because Chesney doesn't know what he's doing in goal. They beat Spezia, they beat Venezia, they tied Juve. I mean, not the strongest schedule, apart from the Juve fact, but Juve still isn't like they're like this.
they're a little bit off. Yeah,
Yeah, they're a little bit off, but yeah, they've always and we're in Udine for this match. We have I think the next few matches were away, and
Mhm.
they've always like historically, from what I remember off the top of my head, Udinese has always been a tough game.
For
So
Napoli.
I
Yeah,
for Napoli, and for a lot of teams too, but for Napoli specifically, they've always been a tough sort of cagey match.
yeah.
But I do expect something different to come from this game. Because we're riding off that high from the Leicester game, which coming back 2-0 from Leicester at away with everything stacked against you, basically. I think they're gonna use that energy and ride off of it. And you say 2-1, I honestly think it's gonna be like 3-1, 3-0. I
No,
think. I
God
think.
bless. I hope.
I think. And like
I
given
want to relax tomorrow. I want to watch a relaxing game.
me too. Me too. I want to see a comfortable win. But
Yeah, me too.
the other thing is like what do we see from the lineup? Do you rest players for this game? Do you keep the same lineup against Leicester? That's the thing because like Napoli's next fixtures.
Yeah, we got what Cagliari on the 26th,
Well,
so
no,
we have a
no,
whole week almost.
we got the game tomorrow, and then we have a midweek match against Sampdoria, and then we play Cagliari, and then we play Spartak Moscow. So it's a
So
big stretch of games coming up, and we have like a midweek match
he's gonna have to
coming up.
rotate, but honestly, the
Exactly.
harder game is gonna be Sampdoria. Sampdoria has been playing very well.
That's what I'm saying. Like
So you
Sampdoria's,
got like
and they won this
you probably
morning.
want to rotate for Udine and then play a stronger team against Samp.
Yeah.
So
That's what I was thinking. Like instead of playing Politano, I'd play Unas
I'm
just to
sure
get
Unas will get minutes. I'm sure Lozano will get minutes. I'm sure everybody
maybe
will kind of get a little bit
maybe
of
you
minutes.
take
But
Ozyman off a little bit before you play Patania for a little bit. Maybe you save. Oh, but the thing is, our midfield's a little bit thin right now. You can't.
yeah,
Lobotka isn't coming back for I
no,
think
you're
another
gonna
week.
have to ride Anguissa for a little
You're gonna
bit.
have
Eh?
to write
Like, we don't
Anguissa.
really
Yeah,
have
maybe you take off Elmas or Zielinski, Ruiz or Zielinski and play Elmas instead. Like you have to have some sort of rotation because of the
no.
fact that
There'll definitely be some rotation. And I'm sure we'll see a lot of subs at a point,
yeah
especially if Napoli gets ahead in the game. You'll probably start seeing Spalletti use all of his subs or most
yeah.
of them.
Well, there's five,
Um,
so like you can
yeah,
rest a
so
good amount of players in that time, and
Raf is asking
specifically,
if we got games every three. Oh yeah, we do got games every 3-4 days in
yeah,
September. So
for
yeah,
September.
definitely he's gonna have to dip into the squad, and hopefully getting some guys back is gonna help out. But yeah, this is another test for Spalletti. We'll see how he
Yeah,
does. He's done good so far, so hopefully his rotation is good, and it seems
agreed.
like everybody in this squad knows their role so
Yeah,
far. So and looks very content. So we'll see how that translates into some guys who traditionally were coming off the bench starting. So
yes,
I think they're capable. I think everybody's capable. So
I
I'd like
think
to see Unas start a game. That would be really cool because he's so far been the most exciting player to watch. To
yes,
to be honest, him
yeah.
and Ozyman, but he's got like I don't know. I think he has potential to be even better, Unas. So
I think Unas is very. This is the thing that I like about this team too is that they're very flexible. I know Spalletti likes playing his formation that he's played for his entire life is a 4-2-3-1 for every team that he's ever coached. But he's very flexible in changing it to a 4-3-3 and stuff like that. And this team fits both formations, and they can change it at the snap of a finger.
you can change it in the middle of the game. It seems like they
Middle
play
league.
both
He,
when
he
they're
did
playing.
it. He did it versus no Juve. We kind of played a 4-3-3 the entire match, but the genius of that game was playing Unas, and this is what I like to see again: is playing Unas in the center, playing Unas as number 10.
Yeah,
Unas as
for
number
sure.
10 caused a lot of problems.
Havoc.
He
Yeah.
opened up a lot of space for Ozyman, and we have another question from Raf here. Will Ozyman start breaking out?
Absolutely, absolutely. If
Absolutely.
he
And
if he stays healthy and if he doesn't get red cards,
yeah,
he's going, he's flying, 100%.
specifically because of the fact that he has players like Mertens coming back, Unas, Zielinski. These are all creative players that allow him to play and open up space for
Yeah,
a striker of his
absolutely.
caliber. So, using our players in such a effective manner, I gotta say, like this team, I'd like to see tomorrow specifically, and rotating it in the future. 4-2-3-1 would be a good start. Maybe
Mhm.
playing Unas in the middle, resting Zielinski, playing Elmas or playing Fabian and Anguissa, or maybe you can take Zielinski out and play Elmas. Like
Yeah.
there's a bunch of things that you can
I
switch
I
up.
I wanna see them try to get Lozano going because he hasn't been playing terrible, and he's like,
Mhm.
he's made some chances and he almost scored a few, but I really wanna
Yeah.
see him get the back of the net and start rolling like he was last year under Gattuso. So,
So
um,
here's another thing though. Between Lozano, this is gonna start. The debate's gonna start again. But between Lozano and Politano, who do you start in the match? And I think I have my answer for this, but I want to hear you. I haven't heard your thoughts on this.
I like Lozano a lot. I
Okay.
think he plays very well with
Ozzy.
Osimhen. They have really
Yep.
good chemistry. I think he's still probably carrying a little bit of injury. Like he got really knocked around badly in the summer with Mexico. So I'm sure he's probably still nursing some injuries. Yeah, definitely. So you want to kind of get him to start going. I'm not sure if he's 100% fit, but it seems like he is. So he's got to get his legs back. He's got to get his confidence back. So we got to see him. We got to put him in the positions to start getting his confidence back. So he's got to hopefully find the back of the net within these next couple of games. So I would start Lozano, to be honest.
Okay,
Um,
I
you
see
know,
that. Like,
sometimes even for a player like that, just having his name on the starting sheet, can give you a good
yeah,
boost. Poli, I would start probably against Sampdoria because, like I said, that's probably the harder of the two matches, and he's been a little bit more informed. So
okay,
if it was me, if I was making the starting 11, I would put Lozano to start against Udinese. But
yeah,
yeah, it is a good problem to
it's a
have.
good one.
They're both fantastic wingers, both fantastic players for different reasons. So, and it's good, for the coach to have that versatility of having those different styles. Depending on
Yeah.
who you're playing. Sometimes Politano matches up better, sometimes Lozano matches up better. So
And
definitely a good problem to have.
I was just about to bring up that point. It's a great problem to have, and I was just about to say that. But my view on this is that it's very match dependent
Yeah,
in the sense that when we go up for a perfect example, when we go up against Juventus, Lozano can't play against a defense that just sits back and just absorbs all the pressure because Lozano likes to create chaos, but you can't create chaos when there's already order, and he'd be rendered ineffective in a game like that. But if we're talking about, let's say, Udinese, for example, um, Udinese is very sometimes when they're not focused defensively, they're very open. They
yeah.
are very open.
Or even
And
teams that press high, dude. Like
exactly.
Lozano is
And they're
perfect.
very disorganized. They're very disorganized. So the fact that they're disorganized sometimes and they're very open in the back, I could agree with you. Starting Lozano for in this sense would probably be the best case scenario. But I think the best way as a whole to go around it is start Politano. And I'm gonna agree with Salad on this because we talked about it too at the
We
at
talked
the
about that at
cafe,
length with him.
and then yeah, we did. But he's right, and I'm gonna say it right now. Start Politano because of the fact that he's a more technical player, obviously, very good on the ball. The only problem that I have with him is that him and Insigne are very two alike. They do the same things. So if a defense has your number and you have two players doing the exact same things, you've taken out two players out of the game and then you have no attacking threats.
Yeah,
But if you can utilize them in a sense where you just want to wear down that defense, make them play defense, make them play defense. You get tired when you play defense. You just keep them there playing defense. And then, like, at the 65th minute, you throw on someone like Lozano and Unas. It's a problem. It's
yeah,
a big problem to face. So for this sense, I think I agree with you in starting Lozano because he does need his spark. He does need to come back. I think his injury definitely didn't help. That injury he took with Mexico where he like split his face open.
yeah. That
That
was that
didn't
was
help at all.
scary.
That
That was
didn't
really
help
scary.
at
No, for
all.
sure.
But yeah, I think that set him back again a bit.
But he
But
was good last game too, Carm. Like he had that chance, like
yeah,
that open header. Like if that hits
but
the back of the net, like
he
we're
hasn't
talking
been
about
as
Lozano's back.
he
But
hasn't been as effective as he was last season, specifically the first half of last season, if we
absolutely,
want to look back at it.
still
But
early though. He's
it's still
second.
early. He just coming back from an injury. It takes time. It takes time. But yeah,
Absolutely.
probably start him for uh for the Udinese game. I'd probably start Unas as well. I
Give
probably play
Insigne a
Lozano
rest.
on the I play Lozano on the left and Unas on the right, giving
Yeah,
Insigne and Politano a rest. Take Ozyman off at like the 60th,
yeah,
65th minute, depending on how the game goes. Play Petagna. I'd probably rest Zielinski, play Elmas. Anguissa is going to start because we need a holding midfield, like a proper ball winning midfielder.
for sure. And then at the end of the
Defensively,
day, if things go bad, you got
yeah,
them on the bench. You can sub them on right
exactly.
at the half, even if
Defensively,
it's really bad.
I might even play Juan Jesus tomorrow. Defensively,
Maybe for left back if
maybe for left back.
Margarit's
That's
not
what I mean.
better
That's what I
because
mean. Sorry, I should have
that was
specified.
that was a disaster. Like
Yeah.
we didn't talk about that.
What, the Benevento game?
Yeah, against
We don't have.
The Leicester game, those fullbacks.
Oh, yeah, the
Oh my
Leicester game.
god.
I thought you meant the Benevento game. I was like, yeah, the Benevento game is like it's whatever. We were
No,
playing
no, no.
Primavera.
Benevento, I don't care. Whatever. That
Yeah,
was like a
exactly.
friendly.
With the Leicester
Um,
game, yeah, I agree. Those fullbacks, they're a problem. They were a big
terrible.
problem.
Yeah. So
Uh,
they got to
but
do
yeah,
something different. They can't do that again. It's
no,
bad.
but coming against Udinese, I think you can afford Juan Jesus to play.
Yeah, on the left, yeah, I would go
Yeah,
Juan Jesus for
I
sure.
think that's probably the best way.
D'Lo has to stay right back. He can't do left
Yeah,
back. He's got to stay right back.
exactly. All right. So now that we talked about that, unbeaten streak predictions. So I told you the games we play. We play Udinese. We play Samp. We play. I forgot the last one. We play Spartak
Cagliari,
Moscow near the end of the month, and then is it
Cagliari,
Cagliari?
Spartak. Yeah,
Okay. Well, as we're standing right now, Cagliari is tied with Lazio. They're at 1-1. Sampdoria won 3-0 today against Empoli, and Udinese's last match was a win. So, with this in mind, and Spartak Moscow, don't ask because I don't pay attention to the
no, me
Russian
neither.
league. So, having said this, how long do you think we can keep this run within this recent set of games? Then maybe we can even look after. But how long do you think we keep it?
What are we at right now? 3, 4?
3. Oh no, 4. With Leicester. We're counting Europa too.
And then you said 4 games. I think we could. I don't see us losing any of those games, but you never know. I think we get to 10, maybe.
10 games unbeaten. It's a nice 30 points or 30 odd points, whatever it is. 20.
I don't see them winning all those games though. I'll say right now, like there'll be some ties.
There'll be ties. Yeah, but ties they don't count as a loss, so it's still an unbeaten streak.
I still see us maybe having a lemon of a game and maybe tying. I don't see this team losing. Like, to be honest, against those oppositions. I think a loss. I think a tie would feel like a loss against some teams, but I think the unbeaten streak could probably go maybe 10. When do we play a big team next?
October 24th against Roma. And I think that might be our first loss. If I have to pick a loss,
that's going to be a tough game. Mourinho is a great coach, man.
I think Roma might be our first loss. But having said that, I thought we weren't going to lose to Spezia last season, and look what happened.
That's it. It's hard to predict.
But that's a different season. That's a different mentality, different coach, different system.
But still, the thing is that we're so short-term memory that say if Napoli does manage to like lose one of these games or tie,
I'm gonna start saying
the sky would be falling. Like everybody's Spalletti, those wrong coach, this and that. We're waiting for that to happen.
That's true.
I hope it doesn't, but you already know, like we're a very emotional creature.
Yeah, we're very reactionary in a sense.
Yeah,
I think 10 is probably a good number because we're at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's another.
When would the Roma game be? What game would that be if we were unbeaten up until that point?
That'd be match day 9. Match day 9, but then we have a couple Europa League games in between. So it'd be about like 11 games.
Are we playing them in Napoli or
no? We're playing away. We're playing away that game. I think that might be our first loss.
We might lose that game, or we might.
That might be our first loss. 10, 10 is a fair answer.
10 is fair. Yeah,
I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say yeah. 10 games. If
10 would be nice.
10 is very good. If you can win the first or not lose the first 10 games of your season, you're a third of the way through. That's a very nice setup for the rest of your season. Right. You can't win a Scudetto in October, but you can lose it in October.
You can lose it. Yeah, absolutely.
We gotta
stay, and that's what I said at the beginning of the year. This team has potential to win, but we got to make sure we don't fall behind, especially with the new coach. And they seem to pass the test so far. So let's see if we can keep up the pace. And by January, February, that's when you kind of have the idea of we can go for this, or we could actually this is realistic. So.
Even Milan last year, though, even in January, they start to fall off. Tottenham, same thing with the Premier League. They start to fall. So it's still difficult to see.
It's a marathon, not a sprint, right?
Exactly.
Like you got to be with the pack, right?
Yeah. And okay, so I think that's all we have to talk about in terms of Napoli today. Just we'll include this at the end of every episode, just in case anyone in Toronto or the Greater Toronto area is listening to this podcast. Just some news from our own club that we run, Napoli Club Toronto. Not much, honestly, not much going on. Memberships are still available if people do want to become a member. It's $25. You can just follow us on Instagram or our social media and get in contact with us for that. In terms of meetups, we will be having another one soon. So what day did we say again?
It's for the Cagliari match.
For the
So September
26th.
26th, and I believe that's this next Sunday at
Yeah.
2:45.
Okay. So the next one, if people they want to come out, they want to join us, please feel free. I'm telling you, it's an experience. I don't have to tell you. You can ask a couple people like Salad, who just came to Toronto himself. It's an
It's
experience.
nice to watch the game with people like-minded, right? And like you,
Exactly.
and it's there's not a well, I'm not gonna say there's not a lot of us because that's what I used to say, but it seems like there is a lot of us in this in the
A lot of us.
GTA. So
Yeah, we packed
yeah,
out. We packed
we
out
gotta
that
stick
cafe.
together. So if anybody wants to join, if you haven't joined already,
Please
memberships
feel
are
free.
still available, and yeah, it's a
Please feel
great
free.
experience.
Contact us. Feel free. A couple other things. In terms of Napoli gear, to be honest, Napoli gear, T-Dot Italians is getting the new Armani stuff brought in, and if you are a member, you get 15% off for anything for Napoli related. So, or no, I think it's anything in the store. Sorry, but for
Yeah.
the kits that come in, so the kits, the hats, the stuff, all that, 15% off. We will be talking about it, or we will post something when they do get their stuff in, and
I believe we get
the
excuse me, I
first,
believe we get first dibs too,
yeah,
no?
yeah, we do. So that's
So
another plus, right? So just letting everyone know that within the GTA, if you are still looking for Napoli gear in this city, um, we got you. Just
yeah,
wait
T-Dot
for some,
Italians
yeah.
gotcha.
T-Dot Italians, just wait for us to post something about it. We'll keep in contact with them, and when something does come up, we'll let you guys know about it. And finally, I think that's it. Actually, never mind.
That's it. I think we're
That's
good.
it.
I think we
That's it.
covered
That's
everything.
all. Look
See you
at
in
that.
5 months.
See you. Yeah. See another 5 months. See you later,
No, no,
guys.
no. We'll be a little bit more consistent now for
We'll try
sure.
our best. We'll try our best. Sometimes life gets in the way. Like yesterday, we had some problems connection, so it's just it's fine. But we're gonna try to be on time with it. Usually, expect this to happen a a day or 2 days before
The-
another
Another
match.
yeah.
So, like, let's say a match is on a Sunday. Every 2 weeks, we will be on like that Friday before that Sunday to
Yeah.
talk about the past weeks and about Napoli.
We'll
So, what's up?
we'll get some, let some games happen, let some
Yeah,
events
we'll let you
unfold, and
chill
then
out.
we'll have some stuff to talk about,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah. We'll let our boys from the Ref and Referat take
take the
take
day to
credit,
day, and then
and we'll
we'll
take
take
it from
everything
there.
else. Like
Yeah,
we'll
exactly.
get everything all together, and then we'll make a little summary, right? And so
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. So with that being said, thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who followed and watched this stream. Please be sure to follow us on our social media. This podcast is at FDV Podcast on Twitter. Uh, subscribe to our YouTube channel that you're most likely watching from right now. Actually, you are watching from right now. It is on our YouTube page. And if you want to follow our personal accounts, well, I have mine here. Sereno doesn't have his up there. Set at Green Olive.
I'm kind of boring, yeah.
No, you're
The
not.
underscore green olive, yeah.
Every day this guy's doing something. You're not boring. Uh, and finally, our Twitter account for our club is at Napoli Club TO or Napoli Club Toronto on Instagram. So before we go, Forza Napoli.
Sanabili sempre.
This is a good start to the season. I can't
I
wait.
haven't stopped smiling this
Me
whole
too.
time.
Me too. I
You're just
can't wait.
smiling.
I can't wait to see what happens within the coming weeks. Thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, everybody.
Forza Napoli sempre.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.